Hey guys, so here's the solutions worked out for the problems that you had to do for homework. So I'm looking for smallest perimeter, which means I've got to do a minimum on the perimeter formula. So I'm going to need to take first derivative and set it equal to 0. But before I can get to that, I know something about area. It's 16, so I drew a picture of my rectangle, labeled it length and width. And so, of course, I can write 16 equals L times W. So there's my first equation, and then this is the one that I'm going to have to take derivative of. So let's see, perimeter would be 2L plus 2W. And if I'm going to take the derivative of it, I'd like it to be all in one letter. So I got to decide. I can use this formula over here to either get L by itself or W by itself. It doesn't matter. So 16 over L is now W, and I'm going to substitute that in. So it's going to look like this. And if I'm going to minimize it, then I'm going to need, first I got to take the derivative of it. I forgot to do that. So I want to take the derivative. So P prime is going to be 2. Now remember, this is really L to the negative 1. So that'll be negative 32 L to the negative 2, or 32 over L squared. And so now when I want to find maximum and minimum, I got to set it equal to 0 and set it equal to undefined. Well, here's what I know. It'll be undefined if L squared is 0, right? Because that would be the problem, which would make L 0, and then that's silly, I don't have a rectangle. So I'll set it equal to 0, that's the other version, and then I'm going to solve for L squared, and I'll get L equals plus or minus 4, but obviously my length can't be negative, so that's just going to be L equals 4, and then I can go all the way back to here, and now that I know L is 4, I end up with W. So the dimensions are 4 by 4. So of course on this next one, I know that this distance is 1, and since this was isosceles, that meant that this side and this side were equal, which makes this a 45 and this a 45. So that big triangle is a 45, 45, 90, which means then that this triangle right here would also be a 45, 45, 90. So I have a 45 in this upper angle. Oops. And so if that's the case, then that makes this height, this leg, also 1. And so now, if I want to write the equation for this side, well, I know that I went down 1 over 1, so my slope is negative 1. And the y-intercept, whoops, we'll call that b, would be 1, because this dot up here would be 0, 1. And so I'm going to have y equals negative x plus 1. So this is my y value, because we just said y equals that. So I just found what the y coordinate is, negative x plus 1. Okay, so now I want to do the area. Well, the area of the rectangle, well, I know this much is x, and same on the other side, so the whole length is 2x, and we just figured out the height is the y value, or negative x plus 1, so my area is 2x times negative x plus 1. Yay!